sir. Let's not lose it. That would be bad. Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'll bring this meeting to order. Councillor Gill, would you do us the honor of reading the land acknowledgement, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you. We respectfully acknowledge the city of Corner Brook as the ancestral homeland of different populations of Indigenous people. We also acknowledge with respect the rich histories and cultures of the Beothuk, Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Thank you very much. We've got a committee of the whole meeting this evening. Would someone like to move the agenda, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. A seconder on that? Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. We have some minutes from our regular meeting on June 9th. Would someone like to move the approval of the minutes, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Seconder?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. We have some ratifications of decisions. Deputy Mayor, would you please walk us through that?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In accordance with Section 41(3) of the City of Corner Brook Act, where a decision is made by councillors at a privileged meeting, the decision, in order to be valid, shall be ratified at a public meeting of council. The following minutes are being brought forward for ratification. Council Committee meeting June the 9th, 2025, CC 25-004, approval of agenda. It is resolved to approve the agenda as circulated.
Okay, seconder?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried.
CC 25-006, 2026 Annual Summer Games Committee Chairperson. It is resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook appoint Jonathan Snow as the chairperson of the 2026 Newfoundland Labrador Summer Games Host Committee.
Thank you. Seconder?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried.
CC 25-007, approval for execution of agreement, JCL reinstatement agreement. It is resolved to approve the execution of reinstatement agreement between the City of Corner Brook and JCL Investments Inc. to remediate the protected water supply area buffer and environmental protection zones in which quarry works are not permitted as per the agreed upon terms and conditions attached. I so move.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Well, thank you very much for that. And again, for the benefit of those at home, when we do meetings where we have to make decisions in confidence because there's an issue with something that's a timing issue or a land issue or legal issue, they're done, and then they have to be ratified at a public meeting because we have to be perfectly transparent with everything that's going on. So, do we have any business arising from the minutes that we approved recently? Is there anything there? Or is it all covered? This is a pretty wide-ranging meeting, so. Okay. Let's start off with Public Works. Deputy Mayor, we have an update from Public Works, Water and Wastewater.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Public Works summary from May the 21st to June the 15th, 2025. So the current work that we're doing that is completely finished, 100% finished, is our downtown wash, our spring vault collection, sinkhole repairs on Elizabeth Bliss and Rivervale. And we're also completely finishing our green space cleanup, our spring street sweeping, say that 20 times, is 100%, but we're still working on the asphalt patching, which is supposed to go on until the 30th of June. Line painting, it's 80% to the 30th of June. Green space and park summer maintenance is 20%, but that goes on all summer. Our lawn repairs, once again, 75%, that goes on till the end of June. Splash pad concrete pad extension, and it should be finished the 25th of June, 75% completed. And the country road service installation is 50%, and that should be finished the 20th of June. Service requests, we had 135 calls received. The top three categories are lawn repairs, potholes, road repairs, and curb repairs. So our upcoming work in this department is street and sidewalk sweeping, and that that started, and planned finishes won't be until September, the same as our curb and sidewalk repairs. Our storm collection maintenance will not finish until October 2025. Our water and wastewater summary from May the 21st to June the 15th. Our pressure reducing station is, servicing is finished, and our new service installation on Country Road is finished. And we're still working on our water distribution flow meter, our annual distribution maintenance, our annual sanitary collection maintenance, and new service installation. And they go on from September or July until September for some of them. So services requests, we had 46 calls. The top 3 were requests for water off and on, local curb stops, and water leaks. And our recoverable works, we had 15 requests received, completed for a total recoverable works of $13,425.76. Upcoming work, we're looking at new service installation for Wendy's, which is supposed to be finished, that part of it finished for the 4th of July. Annual maintenance, our splash pad operational is weather dependent, and our water distribution field audit should be finished around the 18th of July. The average city water consumption was 21 million liters per day during the month of May. This is down from the overall 2024, where the average was 22.2 million liters per day. Excuse me. The upcoming work, upgrades to filter backwashing process, and that should be finished in July. Annual drain and cleaning process equipment should be finished in July. And that's it, Mr. Mayor, for me.
Perfect, thank you very much. Any questions on any of those items for our directors? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Just to ask the question on the lawn repairs, is that file closed, or can they still call in and report to lawn repairs?
Mr. Burden?
No, we're still out prepping, so anyone who has an outstanding lawn repair that hasn't been prepped yet, they should definitely call in as soon as possible to get that on the list. We're expecting our contractor to actually hydro seed as early as next week. So we'd like to get them in and just do it in one complete round. So anyone who still has lawn repairs, I see there's still a few trickling in, but I think we got the most of them right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Councillor Griffin, we have an update from Development Planning and Community Services.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let's get started. This report is intended to serve as an update to council and the public regarding the various development planning and community services. The current project updates are as follows. A permit has been issued for the motorcycle and power equipment dealership on Hemlock Avenue. The exterior renovation permit has been issued for the KFC building on West Street. Permit has been issued for the foundation complete for the office warehouse on Underground Drive. Permit issued, work ongoing, project progressing forward, likely completion this summer, and that's for the Mount Patricia Cemetery extension. Permit issued for 2 extensions. One extension is complete, the second one is in progress, and that of course is the Filthy Funeral Home on St. Mark's Avenue. The annex converted to an apartment building. Permit has been issued for exterior upgrades. Permit issued for the interior fit up, and that's at 4 Harold Avenue. Excuse me. New car dealership permit is complete for phase 1. Permit issued for phase 2, and that's at 39 Confederation Drive. 21 Mount Burnett Avenue, 33-unit apartment building. All permits issued, work ongoing. 12 Confederation Drive, cosmetic hotel renovation. Permit issued, work almost complete. 24 Murphy Square, significant interior renovation. Permit issued, work ongoing. 44 Brook Street, building extension. Permit issued for foundation. 28 Commercial Street, interior renovation, partial permit issued. The new warehouse on 57 Riverside Drive, the permit is issued for a foundation. The apartment building and commercial units on 16 West Street, final permit has been issued. The new church, 168 Country Road, permit issued for this structure. New 6-unit apartment building, 36 Crestview Avenue, awaiting revised drawings. Tim Hortons renovations, permit issued, work almost complete, that's at 28 Murphy Square. 396 O'Connell Drive, the second level renovation, permit is issued, work is ongoing. North Shore Highway Maintenance Garage, that's at the WRWM site, permit issued for civil site works, foundation and structural steel. 93 West Street, interior alteration for a new restaurant, permit has been issued. 41 Clarence Street, DNLHC, exterior renovation, permit has been issued. Industrial Park study, Dillon Consulting has been hired to complete this work. Project is progressing forward. Yet IMSP, new municipal plan. Upland have submitted the final document. Public consultation of the draft plan and regulations is complete. The consultant will compile a report for council to review.
Thank you very much. Any questions on all of those items that are going on? Good, thank you very much. Next is Finance and Admin. Councillor Gill, we have a report for May.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So revenues are up to the end of May are roughly 38.4 million. I rounded the numbers just for the public's knowledge, just so I don't have to read out all those decimal places. So up to the end of May are roughly 38.4 million, up from our budgeted revenues of 36 million, which is a variance of about 2.4 million. And our revenues come from areas such as taxation, government transfers, permits, fines and tickets, rental fees, recreation and tourism, just to give you a sense of where that revenue comes from. Meanwhile, expenses for the same period are about 14.5 million, down from budgeted expenses of about 16.2 million, a variance of about 1.8 million. And our expenses come from, are attributed to areas such as protective services, garbage collection, transit, and so on. With respect to accounts receivable, our accounts receivable exceed that of previous years. Staff is a bit concerned about that, so there have been some activities that have been undertaken with respect to engaging with taxpayers and businesses regarding their outstanding accounts. Water shut-off notices have been issued in select cases, and several businesses with larger outstanding balances have committed to a payment plan. We're hopeful that these efforts will reflect positively in our June financial reports. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Any questions on any of these items? Okay, and as always, if you're having any issues with your taxation or tax payments, reach out to our tax collector to work out a payment plan. We can help figure things out. It's no good to put your head in the sand on those problems. They only get worse, for sure. So, next, Councillor Pender, we have an update on capital projects that are going around.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This report is just an update on various capital engineering projects being undertaken in the city. Current projects, Deep Gulch Brook Culvert Replacement, which is being carried out by JCL Investments. Construction is ongoing, work is progressing through O'Connell Drive. Traffic control plans are in place for detour routes. I must say, I think that's the largest hole and the biggest pond that I've seen in a
I was waiting for you to finish.
It's pretty impressive what's there. Thus the name, I guess, Deep Gulch Brook. Petries Bridge Street Replacement being done by Unglobe. The tender is issued and closes July 3rd. Transit Accessibility Study and Implementation Plan, which has been given to Dillon Consulting. Council presentation occurred June 18th and public consultation was started. Elizabeth Street, O'Connell Drive intersection improvements, which will be carried out by JCL Investments. It's anticipated that this project will start in July. We're just waiting on the delivery of traffic poles. District water meters are installed. Water audit and loss analysis, that's being conducted by CBCL. Overnight work will start in July. This will consist of operating valves and monitoring flow data to identify potential leaks. The water audit will be completed before field work begins. The traffic detection upgrade work has started on Humber and Main Street intersection. That is completed. Main Street Mill Road is currently underway. Curly Street retaining wall, the surface asphalt was completed on June 14th, and landscaping remains. Mount Bernard Avenue, the surface asphalt was completed June 14th as well. Street resurfacing work started on June 17th. Paving operations will take place in the townside area first. I guess people will notice some of the milling that's been happening around Lower Hospital Hill, East Valley, and so on. Star Trail Design Construction Services, that's being done by Track Consulting. We're awaiting funding application decision. City Hall atrium lighting, the lights have been received. Installation is scheduled for July. Community Market Feasibility Study, that was given to Fowler Ball and Mitchell Limited. Draft final report has been received. Bartlett Point Park Bandstand, that was being done by Englobe. Feedback from traffic engineers expected in the coming weeks. Confederation Drive intersection improvements, that is also with Englobe. Final design expected in early July. The Broadway Storm Sewer System is being done by Anderson Engineering. Project is almost complete, pedestrian crossing remaining, waiting on delivery of poles for heritage lights. Our CHIF funding application, funding has been applied for to complete the following projects. Wastewater treatment facility estimated today at $140 million. West Side Water Reservoir estimated at $13.3 million. Active Transportation Fund, Country Road Sidewalk estimated at $2 million. And Active Transportation Fund, Confederation Drive Multi-Use Trail estimated at $3.7 million. Rural Transit Funding Application, funding approval has been received. Accessible on-demand software RFP has been released. Legacy funding. Funding is being applied for through the Canadian Heritage Program to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Corner Brook Pulp and Paper. If successful, this funding will go towards upgrades in Margaret Bowen Park. Funding application was submitted on March 14th. Riverside Drive Risk Assessment, Stantec Consulting is looking after that. The study is underway and the site visit occurred on June 4th. 2025 spring cleanup is complete. 1,289 appointments were collected. Almost 4,000 visits were made to the landfill. A public survey being drafted to encourage resident feedback. Aerial imagery flying has been completed and expected to have the imagery in July. And finally, the garbage collection contract, the tender review is completed. The RFP is on to its council agenda, and that is all.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Any questions on those items?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Councillor Gill.
How long is the Deep Gulch Brook Culvert Replacement Project going to, I've had a number of people ask me, how long will that massive pile of dirt be blocking our...
Mr. Burden, can you tell us the latest and greatest over there?
Yeah, so my understanding is backfilling has commenced, which means the pile should get theoretically smaller every day now. But it is an absolute massive hole. Everything got to go in in lifts and be compacted as to not get any settlement in the road structure. So it's going to be several days yet before that road is open for sure. And that's if we get good weather. Any kind of heavy rain or rain will substantially slow that down. So it's a bit of a moving target, but I know the contractor is working pretty diligently to try to get that done. The longer it's open, the more risk we're at for heavy rains and damage and that kind of stuff. So.
Thank you.
The other thing to note is that once that stage is complete, then there will be, it sounds like there's going to be maybe a short break before the bottom of University closes. And because the line has to continue under there. So it's going to be shut there for quite a while, a number of days after that.
And may I ask one more question?
Yep.
The community market feasibility study, that's another one that a few people have asked me about, wondering where it's going to go. People are pretty eager. I think
Yep,
people are
absolutely.
happy to know that we're moving on that. I just wonder where we are.
Yeah, do you have any information there?
I don't. I suspect it's being reviewed by staff to see if there's anything in there that needs to be changed before it gets presented publicly to council and the public. But I'll follow up with staff to see exactly where that is.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Any other questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I haven't seen them, but I'm told that some of the information signs are on the trail. And I was asked, are we gonna put them all up this year? or-
Oh, I know what
You
you're
know,
talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Bird, not the Great Trail project. Some of the signs are up, some are to come, is
Yeah,
that?
there was, my understanding, there was a couple of phases. The first phase has been complete,
Okay.
and I'm not 100%, it will definitely be done this year. I'm not sure
Okay.
if the
No, that's
second
fine.
phase is in design or if it's in printing.
Okay.
But it'll definitely be done very soon, actually.
Okay, and just one more
Yep.
thing, I'm looking at the title here, Bartlett's Point Park Bandstand, and underneath you're talking about traffic engineers.
Yeah, there's a parking project along with that.
Okay, so will the bandstand not be put there until the traffic thing is done? Is that my
I think
understanding?
at this stage, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Byrne, but this is design work at this stage.
That's correct.
For adding parking and a bandstand.
Okay,
I don't think we actually have the funding yet for the actual work. So this would be Bruce an estimate and tender documents. And then we still have to,
okay, so I'm still not sure. You're telling me the bandstand won't be going there till the traffic situation?
no, it's one project.
Okay,
It's one project, but we've only, right now, they're doing the design work for both.
yeah,
Where the bandstand goes and where the parking has to go. So that's at that stage, but we still have to secure funding from our partners to get some money to do the actual work. So we're still another stage away from actually being able to complete both the parking and bandstand. That's all one thing.
okay. All right.
Good? Okay, any other questions? Yes?
Just the end of the garbage collection contract, it's just a clip from that. The lawn clippings are now being accepted with the garbage on your date
Yes.
your garbage goes out.
That's correct.
And some people have asked why we are not accepting it in brown paper bags, the bags. But maybe we could let the public know tonight exactly what the lawn clippings go into.
Oh,
The clippings have to go in plastic if they're going to be put out with your garbage. That's not something for us, of course, that's to deal with Western Regional Waste Management.
Right.
Now, ideally, again, we don't like to encourage putting it out on the curb at all. If you can mulch it into your lawn or find another way to get rid of those things, it would be better for everyone. It would save the city a few bucks trucking it and paying for it over Western Regional Waste Management. And it's better for the environment generally than putting it in a plastic bag and then shipping it out to North Arm,
Yeah,
right?
I think another issue,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, is like, there's other stuff in the bag besides the grass.
Mhm.
You know, if it was all grass, it wouldn't be an issue, but so it has to be sorted and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
right now, as I understand, there is no mechanism for Murphy's to be able to pick up that garbage
Right.
in a paper bag, say.
Yeah,
Everything they pick up in a plastic bag, whether it's, any kind of garbage or leaves or grass clippings, will go through regular garbage as opposed to blue bag recycling.
right.
Right, so, yeah, you're absolutely right, that like a brown paper bag and things like that.
Can
I
hold
would,
anything.
I would imagine that, again, when we look forward to our leaf collection this fall, that we would consider new options, especially if we're going to deliver it to, say, our third pond access or something like that. Is that fair to say, Mr. Burton?
yeah, we're looking at a bunch of options, but it seems like, talking to our sustainability coordinator, that in the spring or the fall when we do leaf collection, instead of plastic bags to have to debag out at Third Pond, we'll be looking at a biodegradable paper bag, which would be a lot easier. But I don't want to confuse people. Anything right now that goes into on the curb in terms of leaves or yard waste has to go in plastic, and it has to be within your 4-bag limit as well. It can't be in addition to the 4 bags in order for the contractor to pick up.
Okay, thank you for
Good?
your
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'm
Yes.
just going to say I'm surprised people are putting grass clippings to the curb. I don't think I've done that in 25 years, like just mulch.
Yeah, a lot of people apparently do. We heard a lot of feedback, I don't know if you have, but
No?
we got a lot of calls down here.
Wow. I
And,
didn't think it was a thing anymore one time.
Yeah.
Collected your grass, but I haven't done that in years.
yeah, I personally don't care that much about my lawn. I love, and where possible, I'll get someone else to do it. But,
Or let it grow.
Yeah, or let it grow, yeah.
And it's a home for bees.
That's
You could
right.
buy a goat.
Yeah, we got a big item, of course, on tonight about garbage and talking about costs of garbage, and that is all a very complex, evolving issue that we're gonna have to face for sure. Okay, moving right along, Councilor Keeping, we got a rec update.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Marina Ridman Center has seen an overwhelmingly positive response from the public since opening. Residents of all ages are actively utilizing the facility's modern amenities. All participation in programs and daily visits highlights the center's growing role as a hub for recreation and community wellness. Individuals interested in participating can now create a profile on RecDesk to register for activities at the Marina Ridman Center. Signing up is quick and easy through cornerbrook.recdesk.com or marinaridmancenter.com. The Marina Ridman Center offers a wide variety of aquatic activities for all ages, including free community swims, parent and tot swims, aqua zumba, and more. Participants can have fun with a variety of open gym activities, including basketball, volleyball, and coming soon, pickleball. The gym is a welcoming space for all skill levels and is also available for private bookings through RecDesk. The artificial turf at Doug Sweet Apple Field project is complete with the grand opening took place on Saturday, June the 7th. The field is now being utilized by Corner Brook United Soccer Club for its minor and senior programming. This upgrade enhances safety, performance, and durability for hundreds of local athletes and community users. Canada Day festivities in Corner Brook kick off with the flag raising ceremony at City Hall, followed by a community breakfast at the Corner Brook Civic Center, cake cutting and fun for the whole family with bouncy castles, face painting, and live entertainment at Margaret Bowater Park. This year we are pleased to host the Canada Games torch relay beginning at City Hall during the flag raising and making its way to the Corner Brook Civic Center, a symbolic moment in a day full of celebration. The festivities will cap off with a spectacular fireworks display at Margaret Bowater Park to light up the night sky. And Corner Brook celebrations are on Saturday, August the 2nd in Margaret Bowater Park. Enjoy a fun fair featuring live entertainment, fancy castles, face painting, cake cutting, and cupcakes for everyone. This year's festivities will be extra delicious as we proudly host Rib Fest. Enjoy mouth-watering barbecue from the Texas Rangers and Krabby's Barbecue Shack. Bring the whole family for a day of music, fun, and food. Everyone is encouraged to keep an eye on the city's recreation, tourism, social media channels for the latest updates on recreation happenings. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions on any of this? I would note, just in that description as well, so the usual Canada Day breakfast that's hosted down at the Millbrook Mall, by the Y, will be happening at the Civic Center this year. It's a little bit different, I think, related to the torch run. Is that right, Mr. Robinson?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, that's correct. It's going to be at the end of the torch run, so it's going to be a little bit later in time as well. So the torch run will end at the Civic Center, and then the breakfast will take place right then.
And then we got to rush down to the Curling War Memorial for the Memorial Day commemorations there as well. So, yeah, busy day. Okay, thank
So,
you.
Mr. Mayor, to be
Yes,
clear
go
on
ahead.
that, it's not in the annex, it's in.
Oh, sorry, in the
it's in
Canada
the-
House, is it?
It's in yeah, okay.
Mr. Mayor, it's actually going to be in the studio, in the annex.
It is in the
It is in the annex, thank you.
Oh, okay. If you go up that far,
Oh, yes.
we'll get you there someday. It might change 14 times if we're there, Bill.
Follow the crowd.
Yeah,
We're still sponsored by the YMCA.
I think so, as I understand. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
It's sponsored by the city, sponsored by the Y.
Pardon me?
Sponsored by the city, sponsored by the Y. Yeah. Is in support of the Y.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that one. And we also have a tourism update, Councilor Keeping.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Over the past few weeks, our tourism team has been hard at work promoting Corner Brook and enhancing the visitor experience in our city. Earlier this month, from June the 9th to the 11th, the tourism supervisor attended a Cruise Canada New England Symposium in Halifax. In partnership with NILTA and the Port of Corner Brook, We hosted a Newfoundland-themed breakfast event for over 150 cruise industry delegates. The event featured local music, stunning video and photography, speeches, and gift bags filled with local and indigenous products, all designed to highlight what makes our region special. Also had the chance to welcome cruise executives to Corner Brook before and after the symposium, giving us valuable time to showcase our attractions firsthand. Looking ahead, we're excited to announce that the next cruise ship will arrive Wednesday, June 25th. A fantastic lineup of vendors, musicians, and information volunteers will be ready to bring the city alive and create a warm memorial experience for visitors. These cruise visits continue to be a vital piece of our tourism strategy, boosting our local economy and community spirit. Another major milestone is the recent visit from the Canadian Geoparks Network evaluators as part of our application to become a UNESCO Global Geopark. This is the second to last step in the process, and if successful, the Quebec's aspiring geopark, in partnership with Rosemorne, will receive international recognition. New interpretive signage, including a new panel at Three Bear Mountain, is being installed throughout the region to celebrate our unique geological and cultural heritage. This designation has a potential to increase tourism, support education, and build pride in our community. Lastly, we're excited to share that the Mel Whistler Road Train will officially begin operation on Friday, June 27th, running 6 days a week through downtown Corner Brook. The train will offer a fun and informative way for visitors to explore the city. Friendly guides at the Majestic Line will help direct tourists to trails, local businesses, the museum, and more. These recent efforts reflect our ongoing commitment to growing tourism in a way that supports our local economy, celebrates our culture, and creates lasting memories for all who visit Corner Brook.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions there? Lots going on. Great time of year. Yes, Councilor.
Mayor the Mill Whistler, I've seen that around, they're just getting ready, or?
Yes, Mr. Robinson?
Yeah, that's correct. Just getting things ready. There's some training with the drivers and just making sure everything's ready to go for the start of the season this week.
That's what I expected. Thank
If we see it drag racing anywhere, call it in. You'll catch it. That's good. Thank you very much for that. And as well, again, this department now is gigantic. The Civic Center update as well, Councilor Keating.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Heist came at the Kinsman Arena on June the 1st, post-minor hockey provincials, Silver Blades testing, hockey camps, and our successful season finale charity hockey tournament, the Breakaway Cup, where the organizer donated over $4,000 to the Isle of View Foundation. On May 31st, the main arena was converted from a sold-out monster trucks event back to sports arena, and I was immediately on June the 2nd, minor under 9, 11, 13, 15, and 18 senior ball hockey programming for the summer. June is a busy month with numerous meetings, training sessions, banquets, and RN exams. Activity included a variety of federal and provincial government departments, nonprofit groups, minor programs, charities, and the Special Olympics Corner Brook for the law enforcement torch run. The center was privileged to host the College of the North Atlantic graduation on June the 13th and looks forward to hosting Corner Brook Regionalized Cap and Gown ceremony, followed by the Grand March on Thursday, June 26th. Upcoming events at the Civic Center for the summer include Michelle Russell, Canada's top psychic medium event, will be in Corner Brook Civic Center meeting rooms on Saturday, July the 5th. Autocross will be on Saturday, July 26th at the Civic Center parking lot as part of the Jigs and Wells Festival, a time competition in which drivers navigate one at a time through a defined race course. 9 a.m. will be registration, 10 a.m. safety briefing, and 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. will be the time races. The Thomas Amusements will be back at the Civic Center from August 14th to 17th and August 19th to 24th. Hours of operation are from 3 to 10 weekdays, 1 to 10 on Saturday, and 1 to 6 on Sunday. And the summer ice session will be busy with hockey and figure skating camps. The Kinsman Arena will have ice for the first skate of summer on Friday, July 11th, and the main arena will have the first skate of the season on August 1st for hockey and L's Eye Performance program for male and female provincial teams selections under 14, 15, and 16. HPP is Aki's Newfoundland's elite programming where athletes attend on an invite-only basis after a series of selection camps throughout the province in spring. The camp will host over 300 athletes, coaches, and training staff. And ice drills and games will take place in the main and Kinsman arenas. Physical testing, much like NHL combined, will take in the studio with housing and meals provided at Greenfield College. It is Greenfield campus. It is expected there will be over 1,000 visitors will come to Cornbrook throughout the camp. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions on those items? Again, things seem to keep getting busier in the summer up at the Civic Center, but I'm really interested in hearing about that top psychic. I've got some questions for you. So, again, I hope that, Mr. Robinson, that's not how you come up with your budgets.
Mr. Mayor, we ask her what's going to happen next, and she lets us know.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that. Okay, on to Protective Services, Councillor Granter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Under municipal enforcement officers received 139 calls for services. 53 of those were for bylaw enforcement. 57 requests for service for taxi regulations. 12 calls for animal control. And there were 45 calls for the Corner Brook Fire Department. We also had 8,461 for the Public Safety Anchoring Point, which is located here in City Hall. And that's it, Mr. Mayor, for this month, May.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions on any of those?
Yeah, one question, Mr.
Yeah,
Mayor.
go ahead.
Under the bylaw enforcement, we received 53 calls, and there were 11 calls for untidy properties. What procedure do the city use or go through when we get a request to city officials regarding untidy properties, and what responsibility does the city require from residents who have determined that the properties are untidy?
Good question. Mr. Flynn.
So, Mr. Mayor, our MEO officers will, upon receiving a complaint, which comes in through the 637-1666 number, usually, and from there, the MEO officers will go and assess the property and determine whether or not it, if the evidence exists for an untidy property, and that would include the length of grass, rubbish around the property, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, how's that? Good?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions on that? Yes.
Who handles animal control now?
Mr. Flynn.
Our MEOs handle animal control, Mr. Mayor. That's continued. We recently hired a new MEO1 for animal control, so that person is active in that role and still in training, I might add, but very active and getting assistance from her subordinates downstairs. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
You know,
Yep.
I was just going to ask about the property. Do our MEOs, is there like a guideline that they would go by, not just going out and saying, well, it doesn't look like it's untidy to me?
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
does it just come down to that, or is there like?
No, the legislation does give
Okay.
some criteria.
Thank you.
It is very difficult, though. I understand what you're saying, Councillor, in terms of beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So what looks like a beautiful, bee-filled, uncut lawn to the neighbor might look something like so it is difficult, but some are just, you know what it is. If it looks like a duck,
Yep.
sounds like a duck, looks like a duck. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so moving along in municipal enforcement, we have an update on an emergency management tabletop exercise that was done.
Thanks again, Mr. Mayor. The Newfoundland Emergency Services Act, Section 5, requires that the council of every municipality shall, within 3 years of this act having come into force, adopt an emergency management plan. To ensure familiarity with the city's emergency management plan and its interoperability with our first responder partners, the city periodically conducts mock exercises, either full functional or tabletop. On May 13, 2025, the city conducted an emergency management tabletop exercise in its Emergency Operations Center. All our emergency first responding agencies were invited to attend. To The Provincial Justice and Public Safety Regional Emergency Planning Officer facilitated the exercise, in which we saw a school bus and fuel delivery truck collision on Grenville Avenue sparked a wildfire that threatened the Corner Brook Long-Term Care Facility and then moved towards our neighbouring community of Massey Drive. The exercise participants included the Corner Brook City staff of the City Clerk's Office, Engineering, Public Works, and the Corner Brook Fire Department. External agencies included the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary, Newfoundland Health Ambulance, the Moore University, Grenville Campus, the Corner Brook Port Corporation, the Salvation Army, and the Provincial Department of Children, Seniors, and Social Development. Opportunities for improvement out of this tabletop exercise, Mr. Mayor. The conducting of these exercises provides an opportunity to identify weaknesses and reveal opportunities to better our emergency response capabilities. While the debriefing report itemized 8 opportunities for improvement, 4 predominant areas pose high risk and will need to be further assessed and appropriate corrective action implemented as follows. Number 1, interoperability between the various first responding agencies is difficult because the Corner Brook Fire Department or City Emergency Operations Center is not equipped with the P25 radio system. All other first responding agencies have been equipped with this system by the provincial government. Implementation costs for the Corner Brook Fire Department will be around $80,000 to $100,000. Number 2, emergency communications to residents continue to be challenging. More focus will be given to resident enrollment into our buoyant mass notification system, as well as exploring opportunities to access the digital billboards throughout the city. Number 3, the Civic Center has been identified as the city's emergency shelter, but is not equipped with a backup electricity system. Consideration is to be given to a backup generator system that could power the essential electrical systems within the facility. And number 4, wildfire and other emergencies can threaten the internet and cellular communication infrastructure. Consideration is to be given to the city implementing a backup satellite internet and communication service like Starlink. Financial impact: costing of these measures has not been budgeted in 2025, thus implementing will be tied to freeing and reallocation of 2025 unused funds and or delay to the 2026 year budget and thereafter.
Perfect.
So move, Mr. Sorry, not a motion.
No, that's excellent. Thank you very much for that. Any questions on that? It sounds, again, it's really hard to do these things when you're not pressed for them, but it's important. Yes, Councillor Pender.
Just looking at the wildfire and other emergencies and trying to get contact people when we do have an emergency. In such situation as if this scenario were real, are we able to access the emergency alert system that the federal and provincial governments use on people's cell phones?
Good question, yeah. Mr. Flynn?
Mr. Mayor, yes, we don't have the actual access, but Fire and Emergency Services Department of Justice and Public Safety have full access, and we make the request to them, which is outlined in our emergency management plan. So.
Second question, Mr. Mayor, just on the cost of the, the P25 radio system. I know here it says all of the emergency responders that we deal with, except for the City of Corner Brook, have been provided those radio systems by the provincial government. Any opportunity for us to go to the provincial government to fund the same equipment for our fire department?
Yeah, Mr. Flynn?
I've had conversations, Mr. Mayor, with the provincial government on this, and as it stands right now, they're still in implementation in a lot of these areas, but they are not receptive to providing money to career fire departments for this radio system. They have provided us a lot of support in the design and programming, but right now we don't have the radios. We are looking to get enough to get some communication to our emergency management partners, but we're not there yet. So we're working on a solution here.
Thank you very much. Any other questions there? Okay.
I'll make one comment on
Yeah.
the backup satellite. Wouldn't want to be using a service like Starlink if we didn't want to, simply because you can't depend on them, as we've been learning over the last number of months.
Yeah, that's definitely been in the news, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we have another interesting information report here on transitioning from traditional parking meters to modern parking pay stations. Councilor Granter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook has historically managed downtown parking with 166 conventional parking meters. These meters have recently suffered from widespread vandalism and theft, resulting in over 90% being rendered inoperative. Coupled with the obsolescence of the equipment and the declining ability to procure replacement parts, the system no longer meets operational needs or community expectations. The current meters are also incompatible with the city's digital mobile parking app and limit users to coin-only payments. Proposed resolution, Mr. Mayor, decommission and remove all current single-space coin-operated meter heads, install approximately 16 to 20 digital pay stations across the downtown core, enable payments via debit and credit cards only, coins will be phased out, units will serve 8 to 10 parking spaces each, are remotely programmable, and will fully integrate with mobile banking systems, mobile parking systems. And finally, improve data collection for parking trends and system planning. Financial impact. Before the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019, the city generated approximately $80,000 annually from its parking program. However, due to the pandemic, revenue declined sharply to around $40,000 per year. Currently, with most parking meters removed, metered on-street parking generates little to no revenue. With the implementation of new parking technology, increased parking rates, and enhanced enforcement activities, we anticipate a rise in revenue. If parking income increases modestly, the payback point is projected to be reached by 2030 at the latest. And a recommendation, Mr. Mayor, the Director of Protective Services recommends that Corner Brook City Council approve that we proceed capital investments to replace the existing parking meter system with multi-space pay stations equipped with digital integration. This upgrade is expected to deliver substantial long-term financial savings, boost operational efficiency, and enhance the overall customer experience, making the initial investment highly worthwhile. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. Any questions about this? Yes, Councilor Pender.
Just looking at that, so I know hopefully the payback is, 4 years down the road, so, but I don't see a budget or where the money would come from to initiate this plan.
Yeah, Mr. Flynn, do you have an idea? I guess you have an idea based on that, what you think such a system would run us or to implement?
We haven't budgeted any money this year to make this change. We would have to look towards the city's general revenue and bore it from there and expect a payback within 4 to 5 years.
Okay, yes.
And even just the cost to remove the several hundred meters that are out there, because you gotta replace the bricks and all that kind of stuff, so it's probably a fairly lengthy project to get that done.
Yeah, do we have an idea, I guess, what it would cost Mr. Burton or Mr. Flynn in terms of, I guess, remediating what we have and putting these what is it, 16 to 20 pay stations in place?
Mr. Mayor, I can comment a little bit on that. We would look at using some of the parking posts for signage and for the actual new devices actually go over the current posts.
Okay.
So that's saving there as well in infrastructure. But there will be some that will have to be removed, and we'd look at just cutting them level and keeping the holes there in the event that we want to put more signage or anything out there, I would think.
Okay.
And one other question, Mr. Mayor, have we considered not putting parking meters there at all? I mean, we don't have parking meters now. Is that an issue? Like, businesses complaining? I haven't heard anything, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, Mr. Flynn?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, we have received complaints about extended parking. Where vehicles or store owner, I don't know who is doing it, but they park in these spaces for extended periods of time, and resulting from customers or patrons of the local business being able to access parking to visit those businesses. So it has created some problems.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Deputy Mayor?
No, you had yours up first. Go ahead.
First, I've used these digital pay stations in other parts of the country. Do we ever think about our seniors and how they're going to, like, once they park in front of where they're going, their destination, do they sometimes have to walk to a digital pay station? So what about our seniors or?
Yeah, Mr. Flynn?
The placement of the actual pay stations is going to be within 8 to 10 parking spaces in the middle of those 8 to 10 parking spaces. So they'd be walking probably, 30, 40 feet to get access to parking. So it's, we don't see that as totally unreasonable.
Yep.
No, and I wouldn't think that that would be unreasonable, but there are some people when they park, that they just go right on in through. I asked the question also, do we really need parking meters? Just to throw it out there.
Okay. And you want him to answer
No,
again,
he
or-
answered it for Councillor Pender.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yes.
No, I would think it's a source of revenue.
Yeah, and I don't think, it's more of a cost recovery thing. I don't think we make a ton of money on this, do we?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, it's mostly cost recovery for managing the program, but if we don't have a program, I don't know how we would accurately manage to keep the rotation of limited parking in our downtown.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why we have some changes today proposed in the regulation to allow us to enforce and prevent people from, I guess, squatting, for lack of a better term,
Yes.
in the spots in front of businesses. Yes.
Yeah, just to finish that thought, Mr. Mayor, I think that we are a city, and cities have parking meters, right? And the ones that we have now are not going back. So this is coming. So what they cost this year will probably be double next year. So I think if we're going to do it, now's the time to start.
Yeah, and I guess just for everyone's benefit, this is just information item at this point. So.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, Mr. Finn will come, we'll have to come back and council will have to approve a project and a
Yep.
plan when we actually have something concrete for sure. Yeah. But I agree that we should get a plan in place as soon as we can.
Yes.
To figure out whether we're gonna do this or not, right?
Yep.
And that would include the cost, I guess, too, Mr. Mayor, right?
Oh, it'd be a contract,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay,
so,
okay.
okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. And like I said, related to that, we had a notice of motion for metered parking regulations. Councilor Granter, would you like to introduce this item?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Notice of motion for City of Corner Brook metered parking regulations 2025. In accordance with Section 39 of the City of Corner Brook Act, a notice of motion is required for the amendment, repeal, and passing of bylaws and regulations of the City of Corner Brook. Whereas Section 203 of the City of Corner Brook Act, RSNL 1990C, Section C-15 as amended, authorizes council to make regulations. In accordance with Section 189 of the Highway Traffic Act, and specifically Section 189(1)(n) of the Highway Traffic Act authorizes council to make regulations, regulating the reservation of highways or parts of highways for parking purposes and the charging and collection of fees for parking, and generally in respect of other matters in connection with parking for which the council considers regulations necessary. Notice is hereby given that at the public council meeting on July the 21st, 2025, the following motion will be brought forward for consideration. Pursuant to the powers vested in it under Section 197, 188, 203, 438, and 439 of the City of Corner Brook Act, RSNL 1990, C, Section C-15, as amended, Section 189 of the Highway Traffic Act, RSNL 1990, CH3, as amended, A, delegations, delegations, plural, of power by the Minister of Transportation and Works dated February 8, 2010, and all other powers it enabling. The Council of the City of Corner Brook hereby adopts and enacts the following metered parking regulations 2025, and thereby repeals the current metered parking regulations 2019 that were enacted September 16th in 2019. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. So again, we can't debate that item now. That'll come forward at our next meeting for debate and decision. So next, likewise, another one we don't get to debate, one we have to vote on though, but the Councillor Griffin, we have a confirmation of an order.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Since the previous meeting of council, the following order was issued by the Department of Community Engineering Development and Planning, and therefore must be confirmed by council pursuant to Section 109, Section 4 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act. The order number is 2025-01, date issued June 19, 2025. The civic address is 57 Carriage Lane, violation section 8 of the City of Corner Brook Development Regulations. The order is a stop work order. Section 109.4 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000 requires that all orders issued by the authority be confirmed by the majority of council at the next meeting of council after the order is made. If the order is not confirmed by council in this matter, it shall be considered to be canceled. Proposed resolution, Mr. Mayor, in accordance with Section 109, Section 4 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act, the following stop work order is hereby confirmed by council. Order number 2025-01.
Yep.
Is that a motion?
Yes, a motion.
Okay.
So there you go. Seconder on that one?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Questions on this? Again, pretty straightforward there. So all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Okay. And Councilor Griffin, we have a 100 West Street proposed third-party sign.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook has received an application requesting permission to install a 10 square meter third-party digital sign on the building located at 100 West Street, Corner Brook, Newfoundland, Labrador. The purpose of the sign is to display third-party advertisements, which includes advertising goods and services that are not available upon the same property or premises where the sign is located, and includes advertisements relating to off-site uses. The sign will be in the downtown commercial zone, where third-party advertisement signs that are proposed to exceed 3 square meters to a maximum of 10 square meters are required to be advertised through a public notice. On June the 1st, a public notice was placed on the City of Corner Brook's Facebook page and website. The city did receive 7 responses of opposition to the proposed sign. There's a summary attached to the memo. Proposed resolution be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook, in its authority, approve the application for the proposed 10 square meter third-party digital sign at 100 West Street, Corner Brook, NL. I so move.
Thank you very much. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Questions on this one? Yes, go ahead, Councilor.
Yeah, I read the concerns that were raised, and these are similar concerns that were raised when the legislation was brought in to allow these digital signs in the downtown, going back, I don't know, 10 years or longer, maybe 12. So again, they were concerns at that time. The public didn't seem to have too much issue with them then, and they'll continue to come up. But one thing I recall somewhere along the way, some of these signs can be adapted so that they dim at night. After a certain time, is that a technology that's available for these
I
signs?
think our regulations actually do state that.
I believe so, that's what I'm trying to recall,
Yeah.
right?
Mr. Burden, do you recall?
I do recall, I know the signs do have capability of doing that, and I do recall there being something, but I wouldn't be able to say 100% sure that this sign will be doing that.
Yeah.
But
I'm pretty sure there is something in our regulations around that aspect, but
Can we confirm that for the
Yeah,
next meeting,
yeah.
Mr. Mayor? I'd just like to know, and if it is the case, ensure that we are enforcing that on other signs that are around the city.
I prefer not to delay the votes on these.
No, I
if
don't
we
want to
could.
delay it, I'd just like to know,
Okay, yeah.
follow up next week.
Yeah.
okay?
Oh, yeah, so you don't want
Not like this
to,
half-
you're not trying to table the
No,
motion?
no.
Okay,
I
perfect.
just, in the back of my mind,
Yeah, yeah.
there's something about that in the regulations, and just not sure if it's current.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I wonder if we could, for the people at home, probably give some definition of what exactly this sign is, this third-party sign is all about?
Right, so any sign that's not related to the businesses happening on the premises of that building
Okay.
is a third-party sign. And so we have, of course, bylaws related to those specific kinds of signs. So when someone, an advertising company wants to put a signage, like a billboard or a digital sign, and this is the case here, it's a digital sign on the side of the building next to Star Taxi.
So is that much the same as what we see there? Just down
Yeah,
below?
similar to what we see, I guess, there by Luigi's.
Luigi's has one.
There,
This
the pylon sign
bridge?
at, Corner Bridge there,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, any other questions or any thoughts on this? Okay, no, good. Well, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Okay. And we have a proposed apartment building for Clarence Street. Councillor Pender.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. City of Corner Brook has received an application requesting permission to construct a 4-unit apartment building on the vacant lot located at 4 Clarence Street in Corner Brook. The lot is in the general commercial zone where the proposed use of apartment building is considered a discretionary use of the City of Corner Brook's development regulations. On May 29th, 2025, a notice to occupant notice was sent to residents living in the neighborhood. Also on May 29th, a public notice was placed on the City of Corner Brook's Facebook page and website. The city did receive 1 email of support for the proposed development. Therefore, be it resolved that the City of Corner Brook, in its authority, approve the application for the proposed apartment building at 4 Clarence Street, Corner Brook. I so move.
Thank you very much. Seconder on that?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, any questions on this one?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
is 4 Clarence Street, which property is that?
Right next is the empty lot there, right next to
Mr. Wilson?
Mr. Wilson's.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Colin's overflow apartment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. See, I knew that. Digital signs, they got to be dimmable.
That's what I thought. Okay,
It's in
thank
our
you, Mr. Mayor.
rules. Perfect, thank you, clerk. Okay, any other questions on this one? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Okay, this is an interesting one. Deputy Mayor, or no, sorry, Councillor Pender. Collection of garbage and recycling from 25 on, for a number of years. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook is undertaking a significant transformation in its approach to curbside waste collection. This initiative is driven by the need to address rising contamination charges at the local transfer station, which have prompted a comprehensive review of the city's current collection practices. To support this transition, a public tender was issued requesting pricing for 2 distinct waste collection models. Option 1, manual collection, weekly garbage performed manually as we are currently doing. Bi-weekly recycling collection sorted into 2 alternating streams. Week A would be fiber, such as paper and cardboard. Week B would be plastics and metals. So that was option 1. Option 2 would be an automated collection. Weekly garbage collection using automated collection arms, something like we see, I suggest, in St. John's, for instance. Each household will receive a city-provided garbage cart at no cost. Bi-weekly recycling collection sorted into 2 alternating streams as in option 1. Week 1 would be fiber, week 2 would be plastics and metals. A separate request for decision will be presented to council for the purchase of garbage carts if this option is chosen. Key benefits of the proposed changes. Standardized waste containers. Each property will be assigned a registered garbage cart with street maintenance and repairs managed by the city if we go with option 2. Cleaner streets. Automatic collection reduces litter and deters pests. Again, that would be the option 2 only. Lower contamination rates. Improved sorting and containerization are expected to eliminate contamination charges at the transfer station. And there would be reduced tipping fees for properly sorted recyclables. So the tender results, Mr. Mayor, the tender for the garbage recycling collection, which would be 2025-08, closed on May 23rd, 2025. One bid was received by Murphy Brothers Limited with the following annual pricing with HST included. If the city were to choose option 1, the price would be $1,450,000, $380.92 per annum, so $1,450,380.92 per year. And option 2 would be $1,445,148.42 per annum. So the proposed motion, be resolved that the City of Corner Brook award the collection of garbage and recycling 2025-08, choosing option 2, which would be the arm and carts going out to each home, in the amount of $1,445,148.42, HST included, to Murphy Brothers Limited. I so move.
Okay, thank you very much. Seconder on that?
Second.
Thank you. Questions on this one? Go ahead.
I would just say it's about time.
Okay.
I fully support going to option number 2 and bringing in the retractable arms and a lot less work and stress and strain on workers themselves. especially in the winter with the conditions we have. Everyone would have the same container to put their garbage in, which is leaves of one equal. We don't have to throw blankets over it and things like that, and gulls and pests and everything into your garbage. So I think it's about time we caught up with the rest of the world, Mr. Mayor, and this hopefully will reduce contamination of the waste. And, you know, I guess, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't put out a bag of recycling every week, so every couple of weeks alternating is fine too. So I fully support this, Mr. Mayor. I think it's a great idea, and kudos to staff for the work on this.
Thank you very much. Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Could we explain to the public what we mean by contamination rates?
Yes, Mr. Burden.
So right now, the truck that we have is like a two-stream, I guess, truck. So it picks up garbage, but it also picks up recycle. So garbage is in one part of the truck, recycle is in another part of the truck, separated by a wall, I guess is the best way to describe it. But it's not watertight, obviously, and when they swish the garbage juice tends to run over to the recycle side.
Yeah.
And makes quite a mess. So when we dump, or when our contractor dumps that at the transfer station, we get dinged for what they call contaminated recycle bags. And what they do then is, instead of charging us the regular rate of, correct me if I'm wrong, $157 a ton, $164 a ton, we get charged like over $200 a ton for the entire load. So we're seeing like $40,000 and $50,000 per year in contamination charges alone, and we expect that just to keep rising without a new system.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yes, yes, we go.
Just wondering, so this is $1.4 million, 1.5 roughly per annum. Will this cost be passed on to our residents and their taxes?
Everything we pay for it gets
I
passed
know, and I'm
on
just
to
wondering how
residents.
much that might be and what residents might expect in the future.
Would anyone like to?
I can,
Yeah, go ahead.
at this point, it's because for the rest of 2025, you will not see a significant difference. By the time the carts get here, the trucks get ordered, the trucks get here, we don't see this really rolling out until early in 2026. So no impact really to the 2025 budget that we currently are working in. 2026 budget will be, I guess, put together starting in September and October. And we don't know what costs or anything we're going to be facing at that point. So this is an increased cost for sure over what we've seen in the past, but it'd be difficult right now to say exactly what it will cost each individual resident going forward. Our preliminary numbers are looking like as low as $50, $60 per household. But that's just based on what we know right now. That's subject to change at budget time based on assessments, and there's a whole bunch of factors that'll come into that.
This is going to add another roughly doubles our collection budget as of this current. So we're paying roughly 700 now.
Yeah, we're paying 743,000.
Yeah, so
HST excluded.
Basically doubles it, assuming that there's not a huge change in tipping fees, because that's the other component. That's about half the cost is collection, about half the cost is tipping to Western Regional Waste Management. So this is, again, a cost that the number looks really high now. It looks a lot better in 2032, because it's
a 7-year contract.
Yeah, it's a 7-year contract. But unfortunately, it seems that we don't have a whole lot of choice, because we can do it the way we've been doing, and we could do it the new way, and it's a $5,000 difference per year. So
Like should be noted, Mr. Mayor, that from 2019 to 2024, we've seen a price increase just on our old way of doing things by 25%. So we suspect if we went to tender now with just the status quo of what we've always been doing, we're expecting another 15 to 20% increase on that. And that is what we're proposing, which it is more expensive, is a far superior system than we currently have.
Well, we got a bid from one contractor to do exactly what we're doing almost, except for a slight change, and it's pretty much the same, so, yeah. Yes, yep.
Mr. Mayor, that is just for the garbage collection system and the trucks and the garbage containers. But the cost of the containers themselves, is there any opportunity for funding through MMSB or others for those containers, do we know?
I don't know, Mr. Burton, I know that's something that was considered in terms of how we'd get residents to pay. Something we haven't decided yet, of course, or council won't have to decide today, but how we'll roll that out or amortize that cost over a number of years. Mr. Burton, I don't know if you're aware of any funding opportunities for that.
So staff is actively searching for that funding, any way, shape, or form that we can get it. But the plan right now is for the city to buy them containers, and we'll, I think, is amortize them over the life of the contract, and it might be even a year or so shorter. So it's a cost that we'll have to absorb in the next 6 or 7 years. But in 7 years' time, these carts should still be in very good condition, and we'll actually start to see some savings going forward.
And just one follow-up, Mr. Mayor, because I'm not an engineer, and Mr. Burton used a technical term a little while ago, garbage juice. Could you explain that?
Yum, yum.
It's literally just the when you apply pressure to a garbage bag or a bag that has organics or anything in it, the stuff that leaks out of the corner is what is contaminated.
And that's what contaminates the recycling.
I think that we've got the new Oxford Dictionary word of the year is garbage juice. So make sure, clerk, that we get Councilor Pender on the record asking about garbage juice in the minutes. That would be very important. Okay, any other questions?
I think we will
Yep.
be asked if, like, a lot of residents have the big containers now. But that's not, you need the ones where you can slip the forks in and
It would be very specific, I would imagine, to the operators' vehicles.
Yeah, we've already kind of specified or sourced out a container that will work. I'm thinking it's the same one that St. John's is using. And unfortunately, existing containers will be troublesome for that pickup device. And the other thing is every household will be registered a container, so it'll be an administrative nightmare to try to determine who has a registered bin versus non-registered bin. And so that's, everyone will be getting every household, or I should say every unit, because if you have a house with a registered apartment, you would receive 2 bins for that unit. So I just wanted to be clear that.
Yeah. And just to follow up, Mr. Mayor, the only reason I brought that up, because I just think it's, the residents should know that right now. Right from the get-go, that what you're using is not.
It is important to notice, I think, Mr. Burton, I would imagine this was not going to roll out for another about 6 months or so?
It'll be, I'm thinking January 2026 at the earliest. There's a lot of, we had to put out a tender for the bins, we have to get council approval for the bins, we have to actually get the bins here, which is like 10,000 bins, get them distributed, and then our contractor has to order trucks, and they have to be built and delivered. So like January 2026 is.
Yeah, I would definitely not encourage anyone based on this decision to do anything at this point.
Do not
It's
throw
gonna
it.
be business as usual.
No. I think you're misunderstanding.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
No, my thing was that those with, and there's a lot of them, the big containers around, that the residents may think, well, I have one of those.
Yeah.
And we're saying, no, you don't. You may have the big one, and the one you're getting is probably the same size, but it's a different unit, and we can't use yours.
Yeah.
That was the
Well,
point I was trying to make.
And depending on how we roll out the recycling program, maybe there's an opportunity to use that container for the
Yes,
recycling.
yeah.
Because you're gonna have some way to put your recycling out, whether that's in a container or not, I don't know.
So
That was the question I was gonna ask, Mr. Mayor, is there 2 bins per household, one for garbage, one for recycling?
I don't think so, Mr. Burton.
No, right now it'll be a bin strictly for garbage, and the recycle would just go in a blue bag next to the bin.
Okay.
Same as St. John's.
Same-
Yes.
I agree with you, though, that it'd be nice down the road to have an extra bin for recycle. But I made the point, when we had our presentation on this last week, I made that point that recycle's really light and it will blow
Yeah.
down the road and
Yeah.
be messy. And
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think too, like, keeping your garbage for an extra week is not an issue now like it was, because everybody's kind of in recycling. so
Well, just the
there's
recycling,
really not a
yeah.
lot of garbage, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And composting and stuff like that, right?
that's next.
That's next. Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Okay, yeah, now, Deputy Mayor, overhead and automatic door inspection and maintenance service, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. City of Corner Brook requested bids for the inspection, service, and maintenance of overhead and automatic doors for various city buildings on a non-call basis. Tenders closed on June the 10th, 2025, with one bid received from Western Lock Inc. in the amount of $6,661.95. The HST is included net per year. Proposed resolution be it resolved that the City of Corner Brook Council award contract 2025-12 overhead and automatic door inspection services maintenance to Western Lock Inc. in the amount of $6,661.95. HST included per annum. I so move.
Thank you very much. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
That one we can afford. Any questions on that one? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Okay. Councilor Gill, we have this one took a while to get through, I know, but an IMSP Development Reg Amendment for 11 O'Connell Drive.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have one question before I read this.
Yeah?
So this is the second reading of this.
Yeah.
The first reading was November the 18th of 2024,
Yeah.
so you're right, I went back just to check it. At that time, I was away due to illness. I'm just wondering, did we vote on this on November 18th? And now
Yes.
we're going to vote on it? We have to vote on this 3 times, is that?
Yeah, well, yes, because it comes back after there's commentary given, consultation with the public.
I understand that. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, okay. Okay, here we go. There's a lot of language in this, so I did a little bit of Googling and such just to see if I could, so the ordinary person like me can understand it a little better. So this is looking for an amendment to our municipal plan for a property on 11 O'Connell Drive. The Planning and Development Department received a proposal for 11 O'Connell Drive to expand the parking lot associated with the place of worship use. So it's a place of worship, obviously. The property is currently split between 2 zones, residential low density and community services. The place of worship use is not set out in the residential low density zone tables, which prohibits the proposed parking lot extending into that zone. The purpose of this rezoning is to allow for the expansion of the parking lot upon approval. All engineering requirements will need to be met before construction permits will be granted. And there are maps in our attached package. So the proposed amendment was advertised as per the Urban Rural Planning Act, Section 14, to satisfy public consultation requirements. The public consultation received 5 written objections, which pertained to items such as property value, neighborhood character, future development of the property with the new zoning changes, as well as water, snow, drainage issues, and so on. Those concerns were provided to the applicant, 11 O'Connell Drive, to which they provided some feedback, and they committed to adjusting the plans before construction to deal with any potential engineering issues. Section 15 release, so Section 15 has to do with our plan and development regulations that we submit to the Department of Municipal and Provincial Affairs. So I'm assuming release means that that was approved, but I can ask that answer. I can ask
Yep.
that after. This council request for adoption of amendment number 2404, which is this is the change for the parking lot, and to appoint a public hearing commissioner to satisfy requirements as set out in the Urban Rural Planning Act. This is the second of 3 readings of this amendment by council. Therefore, now we're getting into it. Be it resolved that the council of the city of Corner Brook, 1, adopt proposed map amendment number 2404 to the City of Corner Brook's Integrated Municipal Sustainability Plan 2020-12. 2, adopt proposed map amendment number 2404 to the City of Corner Brook's 2012 development regulations. 3, did I say 2025? Anyway, you know what I meant. 3, set Tuesday, July 29, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the Hutchings Room at City Hall for the tentative public hearing. 4, authorize staff to give statutory notice of adoption of the proposed amendments. 5, authorize staff to cancel the public hearing in the event that no objections are received or no member of the public expresses intent to attend the public hearing 48 hours prior to the tentative public hearing. And 6, appoint Mark Mills to preside over the scheduled public hearing. I so move.
Thank you very much. Seconder on that?
Secondary.
Thank you very much. Questions on this one?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
okay, so now I'll go back to what I was going to ask. So section 15 mentions plan and development regulations, so we would have submitted those to the Department of Municipal and Provincial Affairs prior to the hearing that we're going to have, correct?
Once, yes. And Mr. Burton?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, good. No, I just want to make sure I understand it. And when will the 3rd reading of this be held?
So if we do approve this, or adopt it tonight, it'll go through, like it says in the different motions, a commissioner will be appointed to hear any concerns on the plan again.
So it'll be after the hearing?
Yeah, and then
okay.
once that's done, it'll have to come back, it'll go back for another approval.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes. Go ahead.
Myself? Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just looking at some of the comments and some of the submissions that we did receive, fairly common to what we see when we make changes in parking lots and so on that are adjacent to people's properties. And there's some concerns there like, destruction of the existing foliage that's there, plants, trees, whatever, that also contribute to preventing some of the runoff and snow melt. So people's properties behind this don't get flooded out. Question of ditching, drainage, aesthetics, things like that. We've had these type of developments elsewhere in the city in the past, and usually the city works with the developer to make sure that, there's going to be minimal impact aesthetically, but also when it comes to runoff and drainage onto neighboring properties. So I know staff will work with the proponent to make sure these things are included, so that some of the concerns that the residents have are adapted. And that's really on the proponent to take those things into consideration and ensure that there's the least amount of impact as possible on the residents. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yep, thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Just a question, Mr. Mayor, just to be clear, we are not voting this evening to permit the extension of the parking lot tonight. What we're voting is to accept that fact that there will be a public hearing, and after the public hearing, there will be an opportunity brought back to council to approve it or disapprove it, or not approve it.
That's correct.
Which will then prohibit the expansion of the parking lot into that particular area, correct?
It's got to run through that gauntlet. So if we think it's good enough, that we're happy enough with it now, we approve it, it goes to the next stage and so on.
However, at the end of the public consultations, after that night, if there's a group of residents in that particular area voice their concern, and it comes back to council for that 3rd vote,
Yep.
people at this council table can, at that point in time, reject it. Even though we've gone through step 1 and step 2, they could vote against it in step 3.
That's my understanding, right, Mr. Burton?
That's correct.
Okay.
But it should also be pointed out, Mr. Mayor, that even with the zoning change to permit this, they still have to get a permit.
Yeah,
and work
building
this-
permit,
And
yes.
work on the, and there will be conditions, obviously, within the permit if this gets rezoned to to address some of the concerns of the residents.
Yes, yes.
No, I'll just go back to my previous comments, Mr. Mayor, that I will be expecting and looking for proponents have included in their development plans measures to improve the aesthetics and look at the drainage and have the minimum impact possible on the neighboring, the houses that are surrounding there in the back.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Yes.
Is there any chance that we won't get to vote on it the third time? Like, how long does this usually take? Will the,
This was extraordinarily long for this stage. This, I don't know what happened there. I know that staff internally were commenting on frustration getting it back to their hands. So I don't know how long this will take. I don't know, Mr. Burton, if you have any idea. Actually, I got a better idea. Peter, could you ask your friend, fortune teller, who's coming?
After my budget questions. I will,
Okay, yes. Yeah, no,
I was just curious
It's a good question. It's
for
a good question.
continuity, right?
But from a continuity perspective, this will come back to this council or the next council for we don't reset. We don't start from zero in this case. It's a continuous entity, yeah.
It's an interesting question because we have a municipal election coming up and a provincial election coming
Yeah.
up. So if this is not done before, say, September sometime,
That's right.
it can be tied up for a few more
Well,
months.
hopefully I wouldn't imagine from a provincial end, this would be tied up. This should be the normal business of municipal affairs, I think.
We live in hope.
Yeah, I know, but it shouldn't be, wouldn't get into a political realm, I wouldn't
No,
imagine.
but things usually slow down when there's.
Yeah,
elections.
yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, if you think, so my advice, I guess, to council, if you think this can be done and you agree with the process generally, support it at this point. If you think it's, this is just done, we shouldn't do this, vote against it. And let's not waste anyone's time. But that's where we are. Right? Okay. Good? Everyone happy? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded?
Nay.
Okay. Okay, move forward. Next, we have our vote by mail regulations, Councillor Pender. So notice the motion was given last time. So if you would please, we have an introduction there.
So this is the notice motion,
Yes.
notice motion came forward at the last meeting, as you just stated. At a previous regular council meeting on June 9th, a motion was made to authorize a vote by mail process for the 2025 municipal general election. There were concerns addressed regarding the potential Canada Post strike and general mail delays that could mean additional costs, as well as complications with ensuring residents can effectively cast their vote via the vote by mail option. Therefore, council unanimously defeated the motion to conduct a vote by mail in 2025 election, and council subsequently provided notice of motion, that a notice of motion would be brought forward at the committee of the whole meeting on June 23rd tonight to repeal the City of Corner Brook municipal election vote by mail regulations. Staff advertised a notice of motion via the city's website and social media and received 6 responses against the repeal of the regulations which are attached. The comments addressed concerns mainly focused on accessibility for seniors, residents with most mobility challenges or disabilities, and other residents who may face other barriers that could prevent them from voting in person. Other concerns addressed included, but are not limited to, limiting participation of voting and options for access, the speculative nature of the Canada Post strike, and the need to provide more options for residents to exercise their democratic right to vote. Now, Mr. Mayor, I have to say, having read those, I'm okay with a vote by mail because I understand that the Canada Post thing is straightened out.
Is it straightened out?
I'm told that, no?
There was one.
No.
Anyway, we'll put the question.
Sorry, that was the
DHL.
You gotta make the motion now.
Yep.
Or-
It is resolved that pursuant to Section 54 of the Municipalities Act, SNL 2001, CM-20.2, as amended, and all other enabling powers, the City of Corner Brook Council hereby repeals the City of Corner Brook municipal election vote by mail regulations. I so move.
Okay, thank you, Secretary, on that.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. Now, questions. So in terms of, I saw that report about, it was the Union for Rural Services. I don't think that is our normal mail delivery. As far as I know, I don't know if anyone has any information on that.
Mr. Mayor, I missed the question, I couldn't hear.
There was a news item recently where it mentioned that the Canada Post had come to an agreement with one union that does rural delivery.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
My first question was whether or not that is our service. I don't believe it is our service.
Okay, I wasn't sure because we are rural, I
Yeah.
guess by most
Yeah.
definitions.
Yeah,
And that was the only thing that, and I know the DHL one is another piece of that, but
Yeah.
that seems to have been resolved. So that was my only question, Mr. Mayor, because the whole reason I think that I proposed, or agreed at the time that we not go forward with the vote by mail is just because of the fact that Canada Post does go on strike, and we need a certain time frame, and I don't know how many months we need to organize this, but I guess we're getting tight now. If we're gonna go do it, we have to do it now. And then if we do that, and we do have a strike, or if people don't get their ballots or can't mail them in, then we're no further ahead, so it just causes more confusion.
yeah, that's the problem. Yep.
And even worse, Mr. Mayor, you would vote and you put it in the mail and they go on strike. Then it's
Yeah.
in the mailbox somewhere.
Yeah.
I guess we
Absolutely.
saw what happened in the provincial election
Yes.
last time, so lots of issues around that.
Absolutely, yes.
Mr. Mayor, I was in support of the motion last time, but I'm not in support of repealing this. I think that this should be done on a case-by-case basis, depending on what the environment is that we're dealing with at the time of a, excuse me, of an election. I'd also like to point out that we're not alone in trying to offer as many opportunities to vote
Yep.
as we can with respect to accessibility, in that Ontario, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, BC, Alberta, Quebec, and Nova Scotia all have mail-in ballots in their major cities. And I'll note, and you said it's a long, long time away when I brought it up last time, but Nova Scotia mostly uses e-voting, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I guess just so
Same.
everyone knows that we are governed by provincial
Yes,
legislation.
of course.
So we can't just change the Municipal Elections Act. If we could change the timelines for getting our nominations done, voting things out, that might change the water to beans, just so everyone knows. But that's not something that the city of Corner Brook can control. So, yes, go
Me?
ahead. Yep.
Have we checked with other municipalities in Newfoundland to find out what they are doing? Are they
Yep.
following what they did before, or are they canceling totally?
Yeah, and maybe clerk, you can tell us what you're hearing from the other municipalities.
Yeah, so most of the municipalities who've done vote by mail in the past are still doing it for this election as well.
Yep.
No one has canceled so far, now not to say that they couldn't, but so far, nobody.
Okay, yes.
Well, I was gonna ask that question, but also like, what is the drop dead date for us to be able to say it's not going ahead? Like, if we go ahead, plan it, get it all ready, get it out there, and then Canada Post goes on strike, September 27th or something. I guess we just don't send them, well, I guess they're already in the mail then.
Well, so there are some contingencies you could do. So, for example, we could instruct people to deliver their ballots, or we could deliver ballots to people who register to vote by mail another way, although that might be more difficult if we're talking about 1,000 ballots, say. The same thing could happen, presumably, if the ballots get out
If they're in
and
the
they
mail.
can't get back. And for me personally, the biggest concern isn't the strike, it's the timing of mail. So if you have a week delay in certain parts of the city, as we've seen in recent months, you could possibly have some ballots not get or come in late. And in terms of being able to communicate that to people, they could show up at the ballot box and cast their ballot because it's a computerized system. So if you register to vote by mail, when you vote and we get your envelope, you can't vote again. But you can vote again if your ballot is not in, right? Yeah, and we disregard your ballot? Is that the case? Okay.
We disregard the ballot in the mail.
The mail ballot, yeah, there's a double envelope type system. yeah.
Okay, so if it was lost in the mail, say,
You
they
can't,
could still
but,
come and vote if there was a
but
strike.
how do you communicate that to the person that we don't think your ballot is gonna make it on time? You should come in to vote. It would be nice to be a little cleaner with longer timelines is the issue, right? So, anyway, this is a concern, but again, it's no simple, normally this would be a slam dunk. Normally, I think we would do vote by mail, no problem at all, right? Because you're right, provides more accessibility, but
Yeah.
it's a hard one, for sure.
Mr. Mayor, just so people do know, what are the other options if they have accessibility issues? So they can have a vote by proxy, and they can also drop off and get somebody, no, I can't remember
No, there's two.
what are the other ones? Other
There's a
options?
mobile poll for some of our, like, personal care homes, things like that.
Right,
And there's 2 advanced polls.
okay.
Yeah. And
And vote by proxy.
the places themselves, again, are accessible in the sense that the voting polling stations are locations where people can, with mobility issues, say, would be able to access them. So,
Mr. Mayor, I think last time we said there was over 400 people that vote by mail.
yeah, what was it, 484?
Okay, and how many communities in Newfoundland do vote by mail, do you know? Is it just a couple, or is it the larger ones?
Yeah, like the big seven.
Big
The
7 or 8?
Portugal Cove, St. Philip's, Mount Pearl, Paradise, St. John's, Gander, Grand Falls isn't, so Gander. That's mostly it.
Okay.
Yeah, and they all did it except for St. John's. It's their first time, last time, like us.
Well, Mr. Mayor, if they can all do it, I suspect we can do it, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
We didn't have all that information last time.
No, for me, I was prepared to change if there was a settlement in the postal. If that's not guaranteed, I won't be supporting it or supporting it, whatever it says.
It's a hard one for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we already voted, we're not gonna do vote by mail. So we necessarily have to repeal the thing. If we don't repeal it, then we'll have to do some more business. So let's take a vote. So we have a motion to repeal the regulation. So I'm gonna call for the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Wait, no.
To repeal.
I'm not understanding.
To not do the vote by mail.
Yeah, there's a motion to repeal the vote by mail regulation on the table right now. Okay?
Mr.
So-
Mayor?
No.
To repeal what we decided last time, or this one? Like, I don't, okay, you're
Okay,
gonna,
just,
Yeah, please.
tell me like I'm 3.
okay. So last time, the decision of council was to not do vote by mail, which means we have to pull the vote by mail bylaw.
Right.
Because the vote by mail bylaw says we have vote by mail, right?
But it doesn't mean that next election,
No, we would
No.
have to bring it back, if we want to do vote by mail next time, then we'd have to bring back the
okay.
bylaw,
I just
right?
wanted to ensure
Yeah.
that we're not killing it in perpetuity.
No, nothing. This
Okay.
bylaw was probably just last time for last election. It was the
Okay,
first
thank
time
you.
ever.
Yeah.
So now,
Thank you.
because it says when you do an election, this is how you do it, we gotta repeal that. So if we do repeal it, or if we don't repeal it, I should say, we still are gonna have to do a motion to reconsider and go back to the motion that was made
I understand.
yeah. So anyway.
But, Mr.
okay.
Mayor, a lot of the, sorry,
No, so if I put my hand up, I'm saying I'm against the vote by mail for
Right.
this election.
That's
Thank you.
correct. So if you don't want vote by mail, vote yay, okay?
Yeah.
So,
Mr. Mayor, just for just want to say this, that, yes, I know I'm beating a dead horse, I apologize. People that wrote in,
Yep.
that had concerns with us canceling
Yep.
vote by mail, I don't think they understood what we were going to do here tonight. I don't think they understood what the future, the ramifications are not there that they thought would be there, is what I'm trying to say.
This is
yeah.
only for this election.
This is only for this election, but we can only ever decide really for this
Right,
election.
but I just don't think
Vote
people
by mail
understood
is coming,
that.
sir, but like I said.
So
the-
we're deciding right now, this election, do you support the vote by mail for this election or not? So there's a motion to repeal it and not do it. So vote yay if you don't want to do it this time, okay? Simple, everyone got it?
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor to repeal the regulation, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against?
Nay.
Nay. Okay, so now,
I don't understand.
this has failed, but we're caught in the legal limbo because council unanimously decided last time to do away with vote by mail. So now, we had a motion, I think was brought forward by Councillor Gill?
I think I brought the notice motion.
No, you brought the notice, but the original decision to
Oh.
cancel vote by mail.
So I need a motion to reconsider.
So I need notes for reconsidering a motion. Now, we had to, listen, the clerk and I, we had to look through rules of procedure on this. So what we gotta do now is do a. Councillor Gill?
original motion.
Okay, so Councillor Gill made the motion originally to do vote by mail that failed. So now I need a vote on, to reconsider, I need a 2/3 to reconsider, okay? Yes?
May I ask a question at
Yes.
this point?
Point of order, point of clarity, or whatever information, yeah.
Point of order, Mr.
Yeah,
Mayor. So, what we're saying then, if I had voted nay just now,
Yeah,
what I would have been saying is, I think we should have vote by mail for this election.
right.
Even though they may vote and it could get lost somewhere.
But they have options, correct, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, again, that's what we're weighing here for sure, yes. But regardless, now that we are not pulling that regulation, we can't have both. We gotta, if we're gonna have the regulation, it says we have vote by mail, so now we gotta reconsider the motion that was defeated last time and do it over.
I have a question I gotta ask, and maybe I can ask it, but nobody, you don't have to answer. But my thing is, if we voted unanimously
That's why
to
I'm
the last time,
confused. Yeah.
and today it's voted down, and nothing has changed, really.
Yeah, but
Nothing has
that's
changed.
Yeah.
So what's changed?
the reconsideration, well, this is it. This is why we gotta vote to reconsider now, because, yeah, we're caught in limbo.
Unanimous.
It's kind of.
Yep. It's a complex
And it's the
issue.
same-
Listen, I've granted, I've flopped on this one too. I really don't know. Like, I mean, I've talked to some of the people who said in comments, normally I would vote for vote by mail.
Yes,
Slam dunk.
absolutely,
But
slam
the
dunk.
issue with the uncertainty was what drove my vote.
Yeah.
But that's it. But now, we've decided we're not repealing, I don't think, technically now, if we want to go back to the trough on that one, we don't have enough time to give notice and do it all again anyway.
Yeah.
So,
So
Yeah.
can you give whoever the option to answer that question? They don't have to, but can,
what?
the question I asked, what's changed? Why we changed our vote? I'd like to know, I really would.
Mr.
Yeah,
Mayor,
I think that,
it's our prerogative to vote the way we feel
yeah, it
is
is.
best in the best interest
Oh,
of
I know,
residents.
no, I'm just saying, if you have to stand for something, you wouldn't mind sharing it.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's that. Listen, I understand this is a complex issue, and you might, again, in the light of day, you might change your perspective on it. This is a weird one that we have to give notice for bylaw changes, so that it causes, again, more time, causes people to reflect and change their vote. That's all.
But, Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to answer.
Yes.
It's just that I feel tonight I have more information than I had the last time,
No.
especially about the other towns that are moving forward, that I don't think.
Yeah,
we discussed
I think
last
that was
time.
mentioned last time, though. I guess.
But we weren't sure.
But we weren't sure how many.
Yeah,
That's all.
Yep. Yes, last one. We gotta move on.
Okay, I'm sorry, but now I kind of feel sick to my stomach, because I had conversations with residents.
Yeah.
I told them that next time,
Yeah,
you know, I didn't want to repeal it. I was going to vote nay,
yeah,
okay? But because of reasoning that was tabled or suggested, I voted yay.
yeah.
And now I want to retract my yay because
Doesn't matter.
I told residents that I
But-
would not support it.
It doesn't matter, because that is done. So the vote by mail regulation is still active. So now, I'm gonna ask for a vote on motion to reconsider your motion from 2 weeks ago. So I want, I don't need a motion for that, right? I just take a vote?
We need a motion. to
Need a motion?
reconsider the
Okay.
motion.
So I
Can
need
make the
a,
motion, Mr. Mayor?
yes, make a
So I'd like
motion.
to make a motion to
Okay.
reconsider the original. vote.
Someone make it a second that?
I'll second.
Okay, so we got a motion on the table now to reconsider the one from before. Okay, all those in favor of reconsidering the motion for 2 weeks ago that killed vote by mail, say aye.
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 Okay, so, now we can reconsider that motion. So we have a motion on the table to do vote by mail. Does this make any sense?
Makes no sense.
We're
Right?
back to where we were 2 weeks ago.
We're back to where we were 2 weeks ago, we just wiped out the clock. So now, we're voting again, reconsidering the motion that was made to do vote by mail that was denied 2 weeks ago. So now, do we have any comments or questions, or can we vote on this one?
My only thing is, when I meet people tomorrow,
Yep.
they're gonna ask me what happened, and I'm gonna say, I have no idea. You better talk to them. I
So-
really have no idea.
So
Makes no
Cole's
sense.
notes of how this worked was,
Yeah.
council decided, no, we're not gonna do vote by mail because there's considerations with the strike and making sure all that. The motion was given to get rid of the bylaw, but that failed because councilors reconsidered their decision. And now, because of that, we have to reconsider the original decision, which is the vote by mail question at all. So we have an affirmative motion here to consider, do we want vote by mail? And I don't know if you've got the motion in front of you there, clerk.
I do, yeah.
Can you read it for us?
Be it resolved pursuant to Section 54, Sub 2 of the Municipal Elections Act to authorize a vote by mail process for the 2025 municipal general election in addition to in-person proxy and advance poll voting options.
Okay, clear as mud?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
No
So
idea what's going on.
this goes back, we just rewound the clock. Now we're gonna ask, do you want vote by mail? Yay if you want it, nay if you don't want it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that motion that we're reconsidering already moved and seconded, or do we
Yeah.
need to do
Yes.
Yes.
just the same one,
Yes.
right? Just making sure we're all clear.
Yeah.
So moved by Counselor
Gill.
Gill, seconded by Counselor Keating.
Okay.
So that was, we're reconsidering that original motion, okay? Fun like that? Okay. Okay, so any
I
other
just
comments
know-
before we
I'll
vote?
watch what they do and I'll do the opposite, because I have no idea. What's going on. Really. I have no
Okay,
idea what's going on.
Do like the same thing you did last time,
yeah,
When you
which
put
is,
yours up.
which is what makes sense. but
okay,
anyway.
so
Mayor, could you clarify what we're voting?
we're voting whether or not, yay if you want to vote by mail, nay if you don't.
Okay.
Simple, okay? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Against?
Nay.
Nay. Okay, carried. We're back to vote by mail. The bylaw is still there,
Sakes.
and we'll go, can we ask if there's gonna be a Canada Post strike to the, to the psychic? Because that's really would be more helpful, right?
We'll be the, we'll be
Yeah,
the
if
smart
there's a
ones.
strike and the ballots get, or the
We'll be-
votes get
it's screwed up,
lost, don't
then
blame me.
Yeah, it's all your fault, that's right.
That's right.
Okay, thank you all very much. Before we go, I do want to mention a special shout out. It is Donnie Hutchings, again, well-known member of the Kinsmen around, is receiving tonight his lifetime membership of King Canada.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah, special congratulations to him. Donnie and crew do yeoman service for the city in a number of capacities. And our Jigs and Wheels coming up, for example, they'll be front and center doing everything from car shows and beer tents to you name it. Yes?
I just think BFM, I heard today, was awarded in all Canada an award for the 2025 Community Radio Award in broadcast online for community engagement. I think it had to do with the Dave McHugh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they received awards all Canada, so that's pretty special.
Well, congratulations to BFM for sure.
Yes.
Okay. With that, enjoy yourself. Meeting adjourned.
So next